स्कन्दाय कार्तिकेयाय पार्वती प्रियनन्दनाय च महादेवकुमाराय सुब्रह्मण्याय Hello, dear one. Namaste. Sit comfortably with your back straight and erect. And let's begin with Devi Kriya. We'll start with chanting 3 Oms with the clear intention of connecting and invoking our higher self in all the divine energies. Now let's invoke all the divine Mahadevis with the Beej mantra. Om Aim 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 Hreem 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 Shreem 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 Clean, clean, clean. Namaha. We'll start with phase 1, energizing our chakras. Visualize that a beautiful beam of golden white light is flowing from above, from your higher self, towards your physical body, entering through your crown chakra, and with each step, entering into all your chakras and energizing them. Step 1, energizing third eye pranayam. Put your 2 fingers in between your eyebrows and start from your left nostril. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Relax. Now move your awareness going down towards your heart chakra. See this light entering and energizing it. Hold the chin mudra and let us begin. Step 2, energizing heart pranayam. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Relax. Now move your awareness going further down towards your navel area, energizing your third and second chakra. Hold the Dhyan Mudra and let's begin step 3, energizing navel pranayam. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Relax. Now move your awareness further down towards your root chakra and see this light entering and energizing it. You can flatten out your thumbs and let's begin with step 4, energizing root pranayam. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Relax. Now allow all this light flowing through you to make its way further down from your root, traveling all the way down into the center of Mother Earth and blending with the light inside her core. Now let's chant one more Om and move to phase 2, cleansing our chakras. Now see your higher self pouring down beautiful soul feelings of love, joy, peace, harmony, creativity, abundance, all that you need at this moment. And see it all flowing towards you from above, entering you from your crown. And with every step, see it dissolving and brushing away everything that no longer serves you and replacing it with these beautiful soul feelings. We'll start with step 1, cleansing third eye pranayam or nadi shodhan. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now let's move to step 2, cleansing heart pranayam or bhastrika. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now move your awareness going further down and see these soul feelings entering your third and second chakra. We'll start with step 3, cleansing navel pranayam or Kapalbhati. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now finally, let's move our awareness and see these soul feelings moving into your root chakra. Let's do step 4, cleansing root pranayam or root pastrika. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now see all these soul feelings moving further down from your root, making their way all the way into the center, the core of Mother Earth. And see Mother Earth absorbing all of this so joyfully. Now let's chant another Om and move to phase 3, harmonizing our chakras. Now see this portal of light from your higher self further expanding, flooding you, entering you from your crown, and with every breath, see yourself becoming lighter and lighter. We'll start with step 1, rhythmic third eye pranayam. slowly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Now let's move to step 2, rhythmic heart pranayam. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out slowly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now move your awareness further, going down towards your navel area, and see all this light in your third and second chakra. Let's start with step 3, rhythmic navel pranayam. see all this light entering into your root chakra, we move to step 4, rhythmic root pranayam. Relax, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly. Breathe in, breathe out. Empty, silent. You're in a space of suspended breath, no mind, no breath, and remain in this space for as long as you can, completely empty and silent. And when you need to take a breath, you can gently do so and see all this light that is flowing to the core of Mother Earth. See Mother Earth fully lit up with your own divine light of your higher self. And now, in this beautiful enlightened space, let us thank all the Mahadevis and the divine energies present, helping, guiding, and protecting us through this Kriya with the heartfelt Devi mantra. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Now let us chant 3 Oms before we can close. You may rub your palms, cup your eyes, and slowly, in the cup of your palms, you may open your eyes and stay in this divine space for as long as you like. Namaste.
Namaste, everybody. Good morning. Hope you had a beautiful Devi Kriya. And in that same wisdom breath, let us begin our book circle. So, this is our third Sunday. We're doing chapters 1 and 2. And this is a continuation of the mind part in the first book, which becomes more unifying in second book, so that you can get to the no mind. In book 1, Saraswati Ma laid out the wisdom how to go from mind to the no mind as you travel the higher levels of consciousness with using your body, your soul, and then your higher self. And the way to that journey is to go from the mind to the no mind. And in this book, we are finding even more detailed method how to go from mind to the how to go from a divisive mind to a unifying mind. because your normal state is divisive mind, fragmented mind, not only within yourself but even outside. Thousands and millions and billions of minds doing their own thing. What would happen if all the cells in your body, and there are trillions of cells, more than the population of humanity, of course, if these trillions of cells started doing their own thing, everybody, if there was no union, what would happen? Would you have a body? Not in the way you do, a functioning body. The body works because all the cells have their purpose and mission, and they stay surrendered to that. Similarly, as humans, if we were to someday, and we will, and it's happening, get into a unifying mind, it will not only unify within ourselves, levels of consciousness and expansion of consciousness happening with that, but also outside us. There would be an incredible purpose, a unique purpose for everybody, which would be respected, and it would be a great unification. If all of humanity comes together like the cells do in a human body, if all of humanity comes together, everybody with a purpose, it would be overnight that the earth can change into heaven. We are completely fragmented, and that's the part of the divisive mind. A mind filled with emotions, a mind where the thought aggregates which we are studying, we began from perceptions, then we went to judgments, then beliefs. That was the first chapter. And the next chapter is perspectives, which we are doing now, and then intentions, expectations, and then the third chapter will be identities. These are the 7 thought aggregates, thought forms, which are in the first book. How each one of them can go from divisive to unifying. How practically you can bring this in your life. This is what we are studying. So we had begun studying how to make divisive perspectives into unifying perspectives, and let's continue with that. I think I was discussing how in my own life Lakshmi ji once told me to see her in every woman and then see her in every human, and that led to a profound change in perspective. Life became much sweeter after that. Now we're looking at the other side. A unifying mind can see divinity in everyone. That's beautiful. But there is also a truth of suffering. And Buddha laid out this truth in the 4 Noble Truths. So now we will get into that piece. What you will realize is that it's the unification that matters. It does not matter whether you see unification in divinity, or you can even see unification in suffering everywhere. As you surrender deeply, deeply to that, something will happen that cannot be told in words. So you'll have to meditate today with me, see suffering everywhere, and see what will happen when you see that. Don't be afraid of it. We will dive very deep today, and it's seeing suffering as Buddha wanted you to see it everywhere. And so, Vandana ji, I think if you're ready, uh,
Um,
in
yes, I am.
and that part, and then we will discuss this. Yeah.
Yes. I see. What are some other examples of unifying perspective? Okay, let us think of one more example. Most of us have heard about four noble truths taught by Buddha, the enlightened one. But very few have the ability to understand these forms from the unifying perspective. The first noble truth is about seeing the truth of suffering in all of samsara. But when you are contemplating this truth, do you see suffering in all of samsara? Do you actually see suffering in birth, aging, disease, and death? Do you actually see suffering in attachment to forms and appearances? Do you actually see suffering in attachments to thoughts and emotions? Do you actually see suffering in attachments to body sensations? Do you actually see suffering in attachments to the soul feelings and to the all forms of consciousness? Do you actually see suffering in all realms of existence? Gods, demigods, humans, animals, hungry ghosts, and hells. Ah, so even Buddha taught a unifying perspective about suffering. Most people cannot see the truth of suffering in this way. Exactly. Deep silence followed by meditation.
So, I want to go over this why there was such a deep silence when we were talking about this part, because it totally blew me when she said it this way, that there is suffering in everything. And so, what Buddha said, and what she's saying, what Buddha said, the first noble truth about seeing the truth of suffering in all of samsara. Samsara in Buddhism is all of existence. It is not just samsara like on earth, but it also includes heavens. It is all six realms of existence, which are what? Which are, you have the God realms, the demigod realms, the human realm, the animal realm, the hell realm, and the hungry ghost realms. So the two of these realms, hungry ghost and the hells, these are places of more intense suffering. Humans have both a mix of suffering and joy. And then animals are, I would say, more joy, less suffering. Of course, they have their physical suffering. Demigods, which is the realm of jealous gods, lower heavens, where there are some emotions mixed with soul feelings. There can be jealousy between gods, there can be ambition, there could be even asuras, all of that. And there is God realm. So, Buddha taught a unifying perspective. Suffering is everywhere, everywhere, even in the heavens, in all aspects. In the process of birthing, there is suffering, aging, there is suffering, disease, death, in attachments to forms, appearances, attachment to thoughts, emotions, to body sensations. Anytime there is attachment, there is suffering. If you see this very, very deeply, even attachment to divine beings, gods, that also is suffering. And this is the part where I went very deep. When she said that, there was a deep silence for a long time, and then you can say what I said. Yeah. So now you can continue, Vandana.
As you spoke these words, I noticed my resistance to your words, a rare occurrence in our conversation. My mind hesitated to envision suffering throughout all of samsara. However, I surrendered and visualized suffering encompassing everything. Then I realized the reason my own suffering did not disappear completely was because of my resistance to seeing suffering in most unlikely places. As I embraced all forms of suffering, including even my attachments to joy and love and to divine beings, a miraculous transformation occurred, and suffering dissolved even more deeply.
And I remember this day where there was such freedom, immense freedom, because, you know, we become attached even to spirituality. We have enlightenments, real enlightenments. There are levels, and there is a subtle attachment that happens for higher enlightenments because we know what enlightenment is. We've tasted that consciousness. And the deep truth is that any attachment, whether it is to money, whether it is to relationships, whether it is to enlightenment, whether it is to spiritual growth, whether it is to even joy and love. And this is the part, if you can go very deep into it, it can give you immense freedom. That we get attached to even love, joy, we call them soul feelings. One thing is to be in joy and love, which are soul feelings, but another thing is to become attached to them. And so, as I meditated deeply in this, I could, for the first time, see what Buddha really meant. Suffering is the truth everywhere. Till the mind is there, suffering will be there. Till you think in terms of concepts, thoughts, even about gods, about love, about joy, till you're attached to the thinking, there will be suffering, and this is the wisdom that she will reveal. Yeah, continue.
It is not that you have not known this before, but allowing an even deeper unifying perspective allowed this truth to go deeper. This is the gift of a unifying perspective. Truth is holographic, it is everywhere. The mind just resists seeing it. Earlier, I just could not see how my attachments to soul feelings of joy and love and to the divine beings like yourself could cause suffering. The realization of this caused an even greater surrender, and all of a sudden, I fell into the deepest silence. Then, from that silence, invisible attachments, even to the soul feeling and to the divine beings, were let go of. Paradoxically, this allowed me to have even more joy and love for your presence to enter even more deeply into my heart. There was a sense of emptiness holding bliss.
Yes, so emptiness holding bliss. So, as you see, as you reflect on this truth, suffering even in attachments, both positive and negative, both material and spiritual, both to joy and resistance to pain. As you see suffering in all of this and go very deep, which I did, that moment was paradoxical because the silence went so deep because everything was suffering. You all you had to do was completely surrender. There was nothing left that was not of suffering nature. What can you do then? Cannot do anything. All you have to do is surrender. And you completely surrender and go beyond thoughts. That is when there is even a deeper taste of that bliss. All becomes completely silent, and in that, there is even a deeper realization of the divine beings, how infinite they are. Because when we conceptualize divine beings, we put a boundary even around them. We put a limitation on how vast Goddess Parvati is, how vast Krishna is. That's why Krishna showed himself once to Arjuna in his very vast form, filled with galaxies and universes. So we put the limitation because we get attached. That attachment is suffering. So we have to, what can we do? We have to just observe. Just observe that the mind, the ego, will want to get attached to the previous enlightenment, to the moments in meditation where we experience great bliss. And the mind will now say, oh, this is where I want to be. And there'll be a subtle attachment, or subtle attachment to divine beings. This is the truth why people have misunderstood Buddhism. When Buddha says there are no gods, there's no gods, goddesses, heavens, he denies everything. When he denies everything, he's just cutting that attachment from you. Attachment even to heavens, to divine beings, because even that will lead to suffering. He's not actually denying the real, if you go very deep, he's not denying the infinite Parvati, the infinite Buddha. He's cutting your finite conceptions about gods and goddesses, the mind. So when Buddhism says there is no God, what they're doing is they're saying all your mental conceptions about gods, goddesses, they're just thoughts. There's nothing in them. They'll create suffering. So drop them. And as you see suffering in all attachments and drop these thoughts and go very deep and see suffering everywhere, what will happen? The ultimate peace. With breath, with body, you enter that. That's when you can glimpse the infinity of divine beings, even a greater love, a greater joy. But don't get attached to that. Just stay in surrender. Yeah, continue.
There is no end to unifying one's perspective about seeing the suffering caused by attachment, even the subtle ones. Recognizing suffering in a realm enables detachment, allowing transition to the next realm, and so on. Okay, what are some more examples of unifying perspective? A unifying perspective is founded upon the interconnectedness of all beings and is rooted in compassion and understanding for everyone. A few more examples of unifying perspective are recognizing the innate goodness in all human beings, understanding the impermanence of all things, knowing that all experiences, whether positive or negative, contribute to spiritual growth, and so on. A unifying perspective can work by expanding negativity into wholeness also. Let us say you fear something, then see the fear. And do not hide from it. Expand that fear all around you. Surrender completely to the fear. As fear becomes a totality and you dissolve into it fully without any resistance, it loses its essence and melts away.
So, see how much has been shared, even though it goes quick 2 paragraphs, but there's a lot of wisdom here. So, this unifying perspective, this is one of the great things of deeper spiritual paths like Vedanta, like Buddhism, Mahayana, Vajrayana. In these, deeper spiritual explorations, you see these unifying perspectives. So, main thing is there is this commonality which makes it the unifying perspective, that you see in all of it the innate goodness in all human beings. All have these divine souls, regardless of their actions. There's the divinity. It may not be shining, but it's there. The impermanence in all things. This was a great truth that Buddha spoke of. Do we really see this? Do we really feel that we are dying every minute, getting older? That everything actually is impermanent? This will pass in like blink of an eye, everything passes. Do we really feel that? All experiences, positive or negative, contribute to spiritual growth, which is so true. So when negative experiences are happening, be thankful to them because they make you grow many times much faster than positive experiences. So this is what is meant by unifying perspective. The perspective unifies around suffering, even around negativity. This is how, when I had my illness when I was 18, there was a thought of fear and pain. And then after 9 months, I just expanded it. It took me 9 months of suffering. But when I learned the secret, all I had to do was face the fear, expand it all around me. In certain spiritual paths, tantric paths, they'll actually go to the graveyards, shamshan, and they will actually stay there, sleep there with the dead bodies that are cremated there. Why? Because they're going deep into this fear energy. See it all around them. It takes a certain level of strength and maturity, but if you surrender to that completely, you can go beyond all fear. Just see the fear all around you. Completely become the fear. There's no distance between you and the fear. Fear is you, you are fear. Everywhere you see, there is fear. Don't resist. No resistance. As you do that, you come out in laughter. Ah, it's simply because you were getting afraid of fear, that fear was bothering you, was creating suffering. If you fear fear, there is suffering. If you embrace the fear, do not fear the fear, simply embrace it all around you, surrender to it like a friend, like the blue sky. Just surrender deeply into fear. It totally dissolves. Okay, go on.
Ah, this is so true. This is exactly how I dissolved the painful mental process I spoke of in my first book, an experience that unfolded when I was just 18. I expanded my fear after reading about facing and accepting fear in a Zen book. As I surrendered completely to the fear, it suddenly dissolved after 9 months of suffering with it. Later, I found out that this process is also similar to the Tibetan practices of Chod, originally developed by the great Vajrayana yogini marching Labrador. In Chod, practitioners visualize offering the deepest fears, attachment, and even their own bodies to fear spirit or demons. So one does not resist or banish these entities but feed them with compassion. Yes, these practices are powerful example of unifying perspectives. The inner conflict is not resisted or repressed but welcomed, witnessed, and embraced into wholeness. One of the most profound differences between traditional religions based on the polarity of good versus bad and Tantric traditions like the Shakta path or the Vajrayana Buddhism lies in how they respond to the demons, the disturbing energies, shadows, and wounded patterns that bind human beings in suffering. In many Brahminical Hindu traditions, the demon is conquered, whether through fire rituals of purification, divine weapons to destroy demonic forces, or mantras used for protection. The asuras or rakshasa is approached through a divisive perspective. There's a sacred warrior ethos here. Light meet darkness and overcome it. This brings clarity, protection, and strength. But it also reinforces a split between the divine and the demon, the self and the shadow.
So let's think of what's being shared here. This is some of the deepest wisdom, goes in the depth of, how Hinduism, parts of it are somewhat different from Buddhism, and at the same time, the deepest parts become similar as you go into the tantric paths. So, we begin by discussing my experience with the Zen book, which said, accept the fear. When I accepted the fear, saw it all around me, I had the greatest laughter. That was my first enlightenment, Satori experience. After that, I was hooked on spirituality because it was 9 months, awakening from 9 months of pain. And it was so simple. You just had to accept. And the word acceptance is underrated. If we completely accept every moment right now as it's happening, completely surrender to it, there is a slight resistance often. We're always thinking of doing the next thing. What do we have to do next and next? And we're not completely accepting the current, the present moment. If we completely accept the present moment, all suffering vanishes. So, our minds, unfortunately, they live in these divisive energies. A lot of people live with a lot of stress, a lot of fear. And there is a Tibetan practice of Chod that came originally, I think it was 11th century or so, by Machig Labdron. And in this Chod practice, the practitioners visualize offering their deepest fears, attachments, even their own bodies. Your own body you offer to the fear spirits or demons. Let's say you're afraid of a demon. Oh, demon will come in my body. Some people are afraid of ghosts, demons. What do? You do a visualization. What's the worst that can happen? The demon can kill you, it can invade you. What you do, you imagine that. Imagine the worst. The demon has come into your body. The demon is eating your body, actually eating your body. and you're offering it with love. Can you do that? You're offering your own body with love and let the demon feast on it. Deeply see yourself doing that. As all resistance melts away and you can feel the love for demon and even offer your body, something happens. You just completely lose all the fear. That's the point. The point is to lose all the fear. When you lose all the fear, there is no demon in the world that can even touch you. This is how Jesus can walk with all the negative energies around him in the desert for 40 days and still not be defeated. This is how people go into cremation grounds and they can sleep there because they're not resisting fear anymore. They're surrendering. Whatever will happen, will happen. Demon can come eat me, no problem. Right? So conflict arises when we don't surrender, when we are resisting fear, when we are repressing fear. Embrace the fear, witness the fear, and this is a profound way of dealing with negativity. Then Parvati Ma is talking a little bit about the tantric paths, Shakta path, Vajrayana Buddhism, Shakta path with all their rituals in cremation grounds and all of that. I'm not saying all of you go and do that, but if some of you are called to do that, sure. But these are more advanced tantric paths. And even in Vajrayana Buddhism, the Chot practice, which is imagining the demons. So the reason you do that is to find freedom from all of these disturbing energies. These energies will disturb you till you have fear, till you have anxiety. The day you have no fear, no anxiety, none of these energies can connect because the connection requires you to have a little bit of fear to create that, bond. If you only have love, if you only have joy, when you easily give up even your own body, come feast on me, I love you, there's no problem. In fact, if you don't mind, I'll share a story of my own. Once upon a time in 2006, it was, no, sorry, 2007. 2007, I moved from the town I lived in, Amherst, Massachusetts. In 2006, I moved and came back in 2007 to my university. At that time, I'd sold my house, and I thought my last house purchase had taken only 1 week. So this time also, I'll buy a house in 1 week. So I rented an apartment, one room in the apartment, thinking I'll stay there for 1 week. And I went shopping for my house. This was 2007, the time there was a financial bubble. Every house I would put an offer on, it would increase. People would pay even more than the offer price. I was not able to buy a house for 18 months. Partly because I didn't like some other houses, partly because the house I would like, everybody else also liked. And this is when the financial bubble happened. So for 18 months, I was stuck in this room. I would meditate there. Strange things would happen. I would go to the bathroom and put my towel on the hook. I would turn around, the towel would drop. I would say, what happens? And again, I would put the towel on the hook. This time, like knowingly, like I really did it and it's stable. Turn around, and again, the towel would drop. Third time, I would, because I'd had these experiences of dealing with the demonic energies, third time that would happen, I would just embrace the towel and I would say, "Oh, I love you, demon. Don't worry. We're all one. You are completely welcome here. Stay with me, no problem." I would laugh. And I lived like that for 18 months. Nothing happened to me. A friend of mine, she used to like my spiritual um, approach to life. She found out I was leaving that room. I'd found my house. So she said, maybe I will rent that room. I said, fine. So I told the owner of the house, and she rented the room. And she had the most horrifying experiences of her life. There were four demons, and they literally would invade her body, and she had to run from there. And this was the same house where I lived and she lived. It's just our minds were different. My mind was just, you know, with the spirituality I'd learned, filled with love, so the demons could not do anything. She was quite afraid, and a little bit her third eye was open also, which also creates another layer of complexity because it allows negativity to come in easily. So, what we're sharing from the story is it is your own energy that matters. If you're filled with love, even in death, doesn't matter, filled with acceptance, no negative energy can get you. If you have fear, then one way in Vajrayana Buddhism and in Shaktapat is you surrender to that fear. This is the secret of why they go to cremation grounds, to win over fear. This is the secret of these Chot practices, because through these practices, offering your body as feast for the demons, you basically win over all the fear. Again, this is a unifying perspective. Your perspective becomes complete surrender to see, you know, whatever negativity is all around me, and I completely surrender. No resistance. Okay, let's continue.
Isn't this perspective true about goddess Kali, who conquers the Asuras? Yes. When the evil rises too much, sometimes destruction is needed to restore order. However, a greater unifying perspective about Kali is Mahakali. Kali helps with outer demons. Mahakali transforms inner demons. Even gods cannot transcend fully if they get stuck with the shadow of inner demons like jealousy, residual ego, or subtle attachments in the heaven. While Kali kills the outer demons to ensure the survival of gods, Mahakali, in her many forms as Mahavidyas, transforms the inner demon. This allows gods to blossom into ascended gods.
Oh my God, so deep some of this about the nature of heaven's reality, differences between goddesses and even deeper realization, higher realization of the goddesses. So let's go point by point. What are we discussing here? So before this paragraph, we were talking about how uh, in certain parts of Hinduism, like if you take Ramayana, Rama kills Ravana, right? If you see even in Gita, Krishna kills Kansa, his uncle, and then, you know, Arjuna kills Karna. More than Karna was still a very divinely oriented, but they kill all the Kauravas. So the fight is between good and evil, and the good wins. And even deeper than this, even deeper than this is the path of Kali, because this is where the evil is so much that for our survival, for our protection, the demons or the negative energies have to be killed. Ravana, Ravan kidnapped Sita, so there was no other solution because he had such a big ego. That ego would not allow him to surrender, so then he had to be killed. So sometimes evil has to be destroyed because the ego is too big and it will not surrender. So divine justice happens, Kali Ma comes and she destroys evil. But there's a deeper perspective about this. Do you know there are paths, spiritual paths, especially Vajrayana, where demons are rarely killed? Where what happens is demons are transformed. Story of Padmasambhava, the great Vajrayana master. He was so enlightened, he had a rainbow body, went to Tibet at the invitation of the emperor. Tibet was filled with demonic energies on all the mountains and valleys. Everywhere there was negativity. And he just went everywhere. And through his magic or through his light, he was able to transform these beings, sometimes showing himself as greater demon than them, to make them realize he would take different forms. Other times with love, other times with persuasion. He would use all these different tricks, not tricks, but these different techniques. And these demons would become dharmapalas. He would transform them. Imagine, could Ravan be transformed? There's a possibility. And that's even a deeper path. How to transform demonic energies. Instead of killing them, how can we transform them? Dharmapalas are protectors of religion. So Padmasambhava converted a lot of these demonic energies, and they became the protectors of the Buddhist path. Some of them even got enlightened. So this is a deeper perspective again. So then there is a difference, Parvati Ma is saying. In my Kali form, sometimes there is no other way. You have to get rid of the evil, the demonic energy, the evil energy. You have to kill it. But there's a Mahakali path, the path of Mahavidyas. There are 10 Mahavidyas. In that path, something even more magical happens. You can actually transform the demonic energies with your light. And this is also the same in Vajrayana. So we're discussing this wisdom. Okay, go on.
Ah, I see. How is Mahakali different from Kali? Mahakali is an aspect of myself as Adi Shakti, my higher self. As Kali, I help with time and dissolution. As Mahakali, I guide the soul beyond time into renewal and transcendence. Even demonic energies can be transmuted, not through conquest, but by recognizing them as manifestations of primordial Shakti.
So think about this last line, one of the very profound lines. Even demonic energies can be transmuted. Transmuted is almost at a physical level, even more than transformation. Not through conquest, not by killing them, but by recognizing them as manifestations of primordial Shakti. Primordial Shakti. All is made up of Shakti, all is made up of So this is the vast form of Krishna also in Gita when he shows Arjuna. He's everyone. He's the from the highest to the lowest he shows. He's all things. So it's the same Shakti from which came the divine beings, and then they fell, and then the soul went through a cycle, and it fell even more, and some fell into negativity and became demonic energies, but it all began from the same primordial Shakti. So if you can recognize the divinity even in demons, in asuras, and reach out with love and uh, more like tantric love, which is knowing how to protect oneself and how to surrender, like deep energy. You have to create an energy field around yourself so that nothing can harm you. And if you can reach out like that, you can transform even demonic beings, and you can put them on the path to enlightenment. So this is very deep. This is a part of the Mahavidyas, the 10 Mahavidyas, and Mahakali and Vajrayana and so on. Okay, go on.
So, as Mahakali, you transmute demonic energies, and Vajrayana practices like Cho transform them by feeding them. This is interesting. Indeed. These are unifying perspective for dealing with demonic energies, which are ultimately reflections of one's own inner demons. In Vajrayana, even wrathful forces are not banished. They are transformed into dharmpalas, protectors of the dharma. Once their suffering is recognized and their energy purified. This is profound alchemy, the transmutation of fear into love and resistance into protection. In Chod, the practitioners does not run from the demon, they turn towards it. They enter a psychic cremation ground, and there, in full presence, they offer their own body, visualized as nectar, to the very force they once feared. They ask, what do you truly want? What do you need? And then they give, not from fear or hate, but from a fearless compassion that no longer sees the demon as other. Feeding the demon dissolves the ego that is trying to protect itself from the demon. It releases the deep tension one holds against being violated or destroyed. One is no longer defending an identity or trying to exert control. These are quietly offered up. And in that offering, the demon begins to soften, not because it has been conquered, but because it has been included in love. The ego's clenching, hiding, and resisting begins to dissolve. What remains is the void of vastness, an emptiness that is not absence, but presence, filled with compassion. The demon loses its demonic nature because the fear it feeds upon has dissolved into love. The unloved parts of self has been seen, heard, and embraced.
So, how deep this is, the demonic energies, the demons, why they are what they are, is because they're so unloved. They've hidden themselves so much in the mind, filled with negativity, that they themselves cannot see themselves. They cannot recognize that I also once was divinity, was part of love, part of Adi Shakti, part of creation. And some of these practices, they're psychological, they are visualizations. This whole practice, Shodh practice, is a visualization to deal with fear. And sometimes there could be, actual demonic energies, And when you do this practice, it melts it away because these energies will only live on fear, on anxiety, on stress, on anger, on jealousy. That's what they feed upon. And you completely become compassion, become love. That's like oxygen to, those bacteria. There is anaerobic bacteria and aerobic bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria does not like oxygen. Oxygen is like love. So you offer love, and the demonic energies don't know what to do with it because they feed on fear. And slowly, if your love is very deep, if your energy field is very vast, like Padmasambhava, if you're a rainbow body being, definitely, or if you're one of the Mahavidyas, this is why in the Tantric path, your energy field has to increase. If you can do that, that can even transform the demons. It can make them aware of the light within them, and uh, that's how some of the work is done. Padmasambhava, when he dissolved himself into light, he did not go to heavens. Guess where he went? You'd be surprised. He went to the hells. He was so enlightened that he decided, I will go to the hells because they need enlightenment. They need their suffering to end. And so he's working there, apparently. That's what the scriptures say. Okay, go on. Yeah.
So everyone is healed with love? Yes. This is the most unifying perspective about love. Unless one becomes 100% love, even a small trace of inner rejection can invite the negative energies back. Conquering may remove them temporarily, but only loving awareness dissolves them from the roots. In this way, Vajrayana is not about escape or battle, it is about integration and fearless presence. Are there any other unifying perspectives in Vajrayana? Yes. Even Vajrayana practices like creating mandalas can reshape one's experience of reality into a profoundly unifying perspective. These mandalas encompass a sense of wholeness that transcends the confines of ordinary divisive mind. Such inner shifts in perspective do not merely change how we see the world, they change how the world responds to us. We come to realize that the world resides within us rather than the other way around. Oh, as unifying perspective begins to emerge, they unify more and more until everything is unified into oneness. And in that oneness, one comes to a state of mind that holds no perspective, an empty mind beyond all perspectives.
So, see how the wisdom of unifying the mind to reach the no mind. So, some deep wisdom here. Uh, we begin with love because what do these beings do when you do these practices? You're offering love, compassion. You become 100% love, then everything can be healed with that much love. This is how even Jesus can heal sickness and even raise people who are dead from that love, from that deep immensity of love. Magic can happen. So, that all religions say, of course, that is the path, but we're just going deep into that path. So, then I ask, Are there any other unifying perspectives in Vajrayana? And Vajrayana is filled with these practices of rituals, of amazing sounds they produce. You may think Vajrayana is about silence, and you go enter a Vajrayana monastery, which I did 2 months ago in Nepal. I would go there, I lived right next to it, and they have all kinds of instrument, these music bells and other instruments where they play, and the whole thing becomes like an orchestra, and that sounds as they come. You should play some of them on YouTube. It won't produce the same experience because in a monastery the whole room is, basically vibrating with those sounds. As you go deep into them, they actually cleanse anything that is in the body, those sounds. So they use these very different techniques. You might think meditation is just about silence, but they use sound also to cleanse your body in that way. Similar in some ways to sound healing, but in a very different context. Um, so they create mandalas, they create these uh, amazing celebrations with the sound, with healing. Mandalas are very elaborate creations. There might be like 25 Buddhas kept in different places. It's like creating your whole universe. It's got a lot of detail, a lot of divinity. A full mandala is immense detail, which sometimes you see even in the Buddhist Thangka paintings, a lot of detail. So as you meditate on the mandala every day, and you go deep into it, it's all filled with divinity. Every place you look at the mandala, there's divinity. Buddha's here, Buddha's there. And as you go deep, deep into that, your mind starts to unify. Then, when you come out of the mandala and then you go in the real world, you just start seeing Buddhas everywhere. You see divinity in everything. The whole world becomes divine. It becomes a reflection of the mandala. So, this is a technique, a skillful technique on how to make the whole world divine. It's like you learn swimming in a swimming pool and then you can swim in the ocean. If I tell you, start seeing everybody as divine, the world as it exists, it's very hard. That is why there are practices like, praying, becoming one with the mandala, doing breathing, meditation, looking at the mandala for hours and hours, because that will create a mind which is like learn to swim in the swimming pool. Now you can swim in the ocean. So now you go into the world with the mandala experience, the skill you've learned to see divinity in every corner of the mandala. Now you start seeing divinity in everybody. In your friends, your family, and your enemies, you see divinity everywhere. And that is a unifying perspective. Once you do that, surrender deep into that, then you can come to a place of no perspective. When everything becomes completely divine, all has become love, there is no thought left, there are no perspectives. So we're going that deep into this. Okay, go on.
Aha. The above is deeply unifying perspective about how to go beyond all perspectives. Laughter. Indeed. We have not spoken about expectations and intentions until now. Can we first talk about expectations?
So the expectation of the audience right now is that it's 7:07, and I think they would want to get busy with their daily routine. So we may end the session here now. We went a little over. So let's invoke, let's remember Parvati Ma. Let's close our eyes and see Parvati Ma, Adi Shakti, and Lakshmi and Saraswati, all four goddesses. Also Kuan Yin Ma and Tara Ma from Vajrayana, all the goddesses. Let's deeply bow to them with immense gratitude and thank them for the help they have offered energetically in opening our minds so that this wisdom, this very deep wisdom, can go into our hearts. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next week. The hour goes by like in a blink. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any any questions? Anybody wanted to share something? You can leave if you have to.
Anandaji, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask, you told about the experience of how your friend took the house that you were staying in with the demonic
Yeah.
presence. Were
Yeah.
you not able to you had a I'm sure you had a discussion before you gave the house that such things happen there, and she willingly kind of took it, and but did she not was there no conversation where you know she was also able to probably deal with it the way you dealt with it, or just knowing it doesn't make a
Yeah,
difference?
good, very good questions. So, yes, we did talk about it, and I did share that there might be some negative energies here, but I was not like clairvoyant. I did not see the pictures of these ghosts. I just energetically felt them. And at the time, this was 2006, before even this seven actually, but before my first introduction even to these books, when Goddess Lakshmi had come into my life. So I was already dealing with these Zen practices from 19 when was it 1982 when I had that experience. So one thing is to get that enlightenment, that wisdom, but unless one has gone through that, one can go into extreme fear. So at that time, I didn't know that she would go into that much fear because she came from, she herself was a bit, into spirituality. So I did tell her, I did share it with her. She said, no problem, you have lived there, so no issue. And, and so, but that is a very good point you are raising, that she kind of stepped into this place where she was not ready, and that did happen. Then there were four demons. They were released eventually, as I started working with Goddess Lakshmi. One day, we all those four demons were released, and they were sent into, their guides took them, and all of that happened. So yeah, but this experience tells you that if you're not ready, this that they can be scary experiences. One has to surrender, completely surrender, and totally become one with fear. And each has their journey. Like maybe this was her journey. Like I had 9 months journey when I was 18, dealing with fear. So this opened her to what can happen when you are living with fear. And then she slowly has grown out of it. So yeah, that did happen.
So that explains this line when it says that unless one becomes 100% love, even a small trace of inner rejection can invite the negative energies back.
Yes, yes. Overall, if you are filled with love, generally such experiences will not be negative, but because negativity has to build, one fear thought has to lead to more fear thoughts, and then more fear thoughts, and then into a panic. And that is when the door opens. when you are in that fearful mode, the fear will allow, it opens the door for negativity to come in. But suppose you say, I accept the fear. I'm totally fine with even my, feast on my body. This is why they go to cremation grounds to learn these practices. And there are probably negative energies, and some negative energies might be there in cremation grounds or anywhere, not necessarily just there. So if you just reach out with love, sometimes it could happen that you're not able to, that you go into fear. But again, continuously watch the fear and surrender to it and just say, I I see the fear, I accept the fear, I become one with the fear. I see the fear as my friend. I love you, fear. Just completely embrace it to the point where only love remains. That's the trick. And as you become love, then you've attained freedom. Because you're okay with death, you're okay with them eating your body. What more can happen? If you're okay with that, there'll be no fear, right? The reason this friend of mine, Angie, she suffered because she was not okay with that. She was like, "Oh no, no, no! They will get me. They will kill me. They will do this to me, that to me." So that fear remained, and because the fear remained, they were able to create that negative connection with her. Any other questions?
Anandaji, you also mentioned that when the third eye is opening, there is more that statement I did not understand. Like there is some connection when a person's third
Yes.
eye is opening to the fear.
The greatest wisdom that I want to share is that the people whose third eye is not that open, they are blessed. Third eye opening is a somewhat complicated thing to happen in life. If one is not ready and third eye is open, one has to stay in immense divinity then. Otherwise, negativity and positivity both enter through the third eye. Once the third eye is open, anything around you which is negative easily goes into you if your lower chakras have negativity in them. It's like an instant attraction. So, this is why, we run after some masters whose third eye is open and they're healers. But you have to be careful. Some of the same third eye masters can be dealing with phenomena because if they're really masters, they're not, then they're fine. But if they're just third eye opened and they learn some Reiki and they're healing you and they still have ego and they still have fears, then negativity will come in. So it's both. So not having third eye open, if you listen to some of the Buddhist masters, they'll say it's a gift because you can do all your practices without negativity entering so easily into your body. If your third eye is not open, you are in a cocoon. You are protected. Negativity can't just jump into you. So you just do your meditations and you learn about acceptance, about love, about compassion. You keep growing, and you come to a very high state. And then the third eye opens, and now you already have divine state with you. So when the third eye opens, you are filled with divinity. Only when you're filled with divinity and love, then when the third eye is open, there's no problem at all. Then you're connecting with thousands of angels and gods, and light is all around you, and negativity cannot touch you. But if by mistake, by some practices, breath practices or whatever you do, you're raising your Kundalini energy because some yoga teacher told you they can do that and you want to do that, and you are full of ambition and fear, you're not ready for third eye to open, and it opens, now there's a problem. Now either you'll become too ambitious, use that third eye gift for ambition or money or ego. You'll say everybody should pay attention to me, like a mini Ravan. Ravan also had that problem. So some third eye masters can be very hungry for attention because they want their ego to be fed, because they've not done the work in the lower chakras. As Lakshmiji says, the work in the lower chakras to dissolve all the fears, to dissolve all the emotions, and then third chakra to dissolve the ego. The ego has many layers. Once all of that is dissolved, you enter the heart, it opens like an infinity. Then you love even trees and mountains, not just humans. You just fall in love with existence. Then the fifth chakra, the expression of that around you. Then the third eye opens. Then it's fine. There'll be never a problem because you don't have any issues in your lower chakras. But if your third eye opens slightly and your lower chakras are filled with ego and emotions, this is problem. Now it becomes harder for you to do spiritual practices because the gifts make you feed your ego. Then sometimes you deal with even negativity because there is some fear. Then you're cleaning that negativity. And then it's a bit of a struggle to do spirituality if the opening happens before you've done a lot of spiritual work in the lower chakras. So this is why what I tell people, don't go after opening third eye. You are protected, you are blessed if you can simply work in your lower three chakras, and when the time is right, third eye will open. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it really helped you.
Yeah. Okay, so great. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll end the session here. So carry this wisdom, surrender to this deeply today, and just unifying. It's a deep topic, unifying perspectives. This is probably the some of the deepest part of the philosophical wisdom in the book. Okay, so namaste, everybody. Thank you for joining, and we will see you next week. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Vandana, for reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.